Share screen. Share. And play. All right. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. Today, Tuesday, January 21st. And today our topic's going to be prepare instead of repair. Just kind of getting ready for situations that you're going to get into with signing documents, being prepared for a listing, being prepared for the contracts, just being prepared, not kind of like a getting ready before instead of while you're working with your buyers and your sellers and have to keep on going back and asking them questions or getting things signed, and you're not sure of contracts to get a refresher because a lot of agents are, and Deb, you said that you almost several times a day. I say it every day to agents is that before you write an offer or get a listing, go over the contracts again or have an appointment with Debbie or myself, and we'll go over it again so you're prepared. We're with them instead of having to call us like live.
Yeah.
And I need an answer now. But if you did a little preparing, especially even the agents that have been in the business a while, you might need a refresher because this is not something you do every day. You might sell 5 houses a year and write a couple offers every year because you're part-time. You just need a refresher of the contract all the time. And every buyer and every seller has different questions. So you got to be prepared. So we'll jump right into it. All right, Deb, go ahead.
Um, so a lot of these things that we're going to talk about are things that we see on a daily that are incorrect. And it's so easy, this first one, to just make sure that your people are signing documents the way that they're supposed to sign them by doing a little bit of research first before you jump in. I know everyone is always super excited when they have a deal and they're having people sign documents and stuff like that, but we need to remember to take our time and ask the pertinent questions of our clients so we know how they're going to be signing, right? There's nothing worse than finding out at the time of writing the offer that your buyer didn't want to take title in their name. They wanted to take title in an LLC name or something. You need to be prepared for that because they have to sign their documents accordingly. When it's a trustee, a power of attorney, an executor, or an LLC, anything that is an entity and not a person, the example signature is how they should be signing their name, who they are to that entity. They could be a member, they could be a CEO, they could be a power of attorney, and then the entity name. That is the signature line. That is what they're signing. So this is very important. You guys were signing legal documents. They need to be signing their names accordingly. And thus so you also need to have documents backing up that this is how they're going to be signing, because not only are we going to ask for it, but so is the title company. So having those things prepared and ready at the very beginning is going to help you along the way. Then you won't have to have things re-signed by your client and they're not looking at you like, why am I re-signing this? You should have known this ahead of time, right? We're not mind readers, so asking the pertinent questions is going to get you where you need to be, right?
Exactly. And for listings, and we come across it all the time. Like an agent call yesterday just to confirm, and she was checking the ownership of a house before she was going to list it. It was just a woman and listed the house that she's been living in for a long time, and then just checked it. And there's a gentleman's name on it, and she just assumed it was her husband now, and that was her husband from 8 years ago that got divorced, and then she's been living in the house. But they never took the time to refinance him off when they were supposed to, but just kept him on. And our agent luckily, caught that and before going out in the listing. And now that seller had to go back and try to get a hold of her ex-husband from many years ago because he's still on the deed and work that out.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Yep.
more to it, but if she didn't go check that out and she went and signed the listing agreement, probably would have sent it to the office, right, Deb? And then we would have checked, and then we're gonna say, hey, there's a guy on there. And then the seller might have gotten mad saying, I thought my property was going on the market today, and then it's not. So
Yeah. Asking those pertinent questions and getting the ball rolling is definitely going to look better in your client's eyes as far as you go too. And plus you need to know who you're supposed to be talking to, right? So
Exactly. And it's something you could look up. I mean, like the ownership of a house, so you don't have to insult them. Like, is there any other owners? Like, who else would there be? So, but you never know. Like, she didn't even know. This seller had no clue their ex-husband was still on it because they never looked. They totally forgot to refinance it. They have a court document that states that's her house, but they just thought now it's your house. Technically, it's not yet until while they're on there. So yeah, sometimes people just miss things like that. But go ahead, Deb.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And that's why we as the agents who are supposed to be the specialty person in this area, that's why we have to look it up. Having a copy of your county auditor's page is going to do wonders when you go to meet with your client because it's going to back up what you're saying. No, look right here on this page, it shows someone else's name. So we need to take care of that. And you just let them know that you can help them with that. You can get them in touch with the title company and they can start working on all of that stuff for them.
Hmm.
We need to make sure that we're following the terms of the contract, and you guys need to read the documents. Pretty scary situation on multiple occasions, at, at least a couple times a week, I can say, that someone has sent in some documents that they never read. And so they don't know what exactly they're filling out in as far as their commission. That's pretty scary, you guys. Read those documents. They're not scary documents. The scary part is that you're not reading them.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So the documents themselves are not scary. In fact, if you read the documents, and I'm talking about your exclusive buyer's agency agreement, your buyer broker compensation agreement, and your purchase agreement for that matter, if you're reading it, you will understand how you're filling it out and how you're explaining it to your clients. The exclusive right to sell has changed. Big surprise, right?
Right.
Read it. It makes more sense now. You have three
Exactly.
different sections for your buyers. So don't get caught up in your top thing in what you're doing. Read the whole thing first, and then you can explain to your seller how you're filling it out and stuff.
And, and
So,
also reach out to us and we'll go over it with you before you get it signed so you don't have to go back.
yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
to make sure.
That's the prepare instead of repair part.
Right. That's true.
Stay within your scope of licensure. This is pulled right out of our code of ethics, y'all. On Article 11, it tells us we have to stay within our scope of licensure. I am not saying by any means that if you have someone who wants to do something that's commercial and you're a residential agent, that you absolutely cannot help them. That isn't what I'm saying. Get the proper training if you want to help them. There are a lot of people that already know how to do it, so you can refer it to someone else, and if you're lucky that someone else will also take you under their wing and help you along the way. But don't try and do something that you have no idea what you're doing, because it doesn't look good for you. It doesn't look good for your clients either. They're putting their trust into you. So be honest. If it's not your scope, let them know that. I'm going to have someone else come in and help with this one because this is out of my realm. People would rather hear that than have you flub something up later on and then they're disappointed because you didn't tell them ahead of time.
Exactly.
So it's okay to partner up or even refer out. Article 4 is talking about agent-owned properties, and I guess I have to remind a whole lot of people that we do need to make sure that we are noting not only on our listings, but also on our purchase agreements and agency disclosures when we're buying and selling property ourselves as real estate agents, and also if we're representing family members. There should be no reason why you're afraid to even let people know this. You should be boosting it from the rooftops so that
Right.
there's no discrepancy at all on who the ownership is of this property. So it's not just us being mean to you guys. This is our code and it's licensed law, you guys. So let's make sure that we're doing that to keep ourselves out of trouble.
Exactly.
Double check your paperwork while you're doing your offer and while you're accepting offers. Always make sure that you're using the most up-to-date documents. A lot of things changed last year.
Right.
So if you have documents that are saved on your computer because you use them forever and a day, you need to make sure that you replace them. You know, with dot loop, those people who are in dot loop, the documents are all updated. As soon as we get new ones, we change them out. The old ones are gone, so you cannot find them anymore. But if you've saved your own personal folder, you've got to make sure you're periodically looking to see if you have to make sure that you have updated ones. Right
Exactly.
off the top of my head, the consumer guide to agency has changed. The exclusive rights to sell have changed. The purchase agreements have changed. We have exclusive buyer's agency agreements in several different forms. You have different choices for those. Your buyer broker compensation agreement that says who's supposed to pay who on the buyer side that goes with your offer. That's something new. So all of these things have changed. The lead-based paint disclosure changed, you guys. There's now one for sales and there's one for rentals. The property disclosure changed a couple years ago, but we're still seeing people who have used the old one. So make sure if you're not with our office, get with your brokerage and find out what your changes are. If you're with our office, everything has been updated. As soon as we get new documents, we always update them. So make sure you have the right ones when you're pulling your paperwork. But double
Yes.
check. You know,
Yeah.
it's so much easier just to do a double check before you send that offer signature or when you get it back from the seller signed or the buyer signed or whatever. Double check before you forward it to someone else that they didn't miss anything.
Yeah, we're happy to check, go through it with you before you send it out. Would love to do that because I haven't caught anyone recently, but I've had agents say, "Hey, I'm emailing you. Can you review this?" And it's an old form because they kept it on their computer. So I caught that, that helps.
Yeah. A lot of times, to be honest with you, it's the 350 fee.
Yes.
You don't want to be paying the 350 fee. So if I call you and say, "Hey, you forgot to put the 350 on this document," um, that means that you're paying it. So if you don't want to pay it, just remember to make sure that you're adding it onto your documents. So that's the biggest one that we see right now is they're not adding the 350 fee on there. They're
Yep.
forgetting it. So this is our funny for today. It's about Groundhog Day, which is coming up. And I thought it was really cute. Buying a home is all about timing, and no one wants to get stuck in a Groundhog Day loop of missed opportunities. Let's find the perfect home before someone else does. And then you can put a bunch of hashtags on there if you want. I just thought it was pretty cute. Has the
Yep.
little groundhog dude on there, something.
Groundhog's Day is coming up already. The month
Yeah,
is going quick.
yeah. And then I have one more. This is from the Century 21. Some of the new things that they have got going on. This is in your business builder. No, I'm
The
sorry, that's not
modules.
brand studio,
Oh,
not business builder. It's brand studio. And this is the Century 21 auto poster, and it is exactly what it says, is what it does. It will auto post on your social media. So I thought this one was pretty cute because it gives people a choice. Which one do you like better? One, two, or three? So you're engaging your audience by asking them a question and then you can engage with them after you see their answers. So what is it about number one that you like the best? Or do you like number two because it's located by the water or whatever it is, you start to create dialogue, and that's the whole point of your posts is to
Exactly.
engage your audience so that you can start talking to them. The more that you talk to people on a semi-personal level, the more they're going to feel comfortable with you when they do need an agent, especially if you don't know them in person, right? So if you're trying to get people from the internet, be engaging with them so that you can create some kind of bond between the two of you. Makes
And
sense?
definitely, yeah, and definitely social media, you have to engage and communicate with them because if not, the engines don't promote you,
Yeah.
like especially Facebook. If you're not commenting on other people's things and if people are not engaging and respond to you, your posts are not going to be up on the top of people's feeds. That's the way they want people to engage. They don't want people just to post and not do anything. So just want to make sure that because I'm sometimes get caught up for months and I don't communicate with people and I could see, the amount of likes or comments or views goes down dramatically. So
Wow. There you go.
and we got
Here's
lots of
some,
free CE coming.
yeah. Yeah. I got the list up till March. So Mike's got a couple and has a couple too. I also have the link for all of you Century 21 agents if you want to get into the private global network workplace that's on Facebook now. That's the private group taking the place of workplace, which I think works out a lot better. I like it a lot better than trying to go to a whole nother platform and logging in. Now you can see it all through your Facebook. I'm not sure if it goes on Insta either. I think it probably does. And then when people are asking questions and stuff, it'll pop up in your feed. So you'll be able to see it a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And when they have new stuff. So this should work out very well, actually. I kind of like it.
Yep. And that core law, you need those core classes there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
for sure. All
Yep.
right. Stop sharing. There we are. Well, thanks for joining us today on this nice cold January day. So hopefully everybody's staying warm. But remember, reach out to Debbie or myself. Call the office if you want to get on Debbie's calendar. If you need me, just go right to my calendar, tonytalk.net. We're happy to help you out. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you again next week.
Yep. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Bye.